I'll start with Christianity. In Christianity, what we have is a concept of the Christ or the Yeshua, his spiritual body or his spiritual origins before he took on flesh and before he was born. What they have in this motif is that his original form was called the Logos. And Christianity later we see is called the Logos. The Logos basically means the original word, the original sound, and the original world, the actual original dimension or space itself. And so you can call it the highest heaven if you want, yeah, but it's also a being, a entity, and that entity is the Christ or the crystalline level of consciousness, and that rise back, that beings rise back to awareness or consciousness was called the Christ or the Christos. And this mystery is taught in all of the different spiritual traditions before the Bible even was written, before Abraham was born. Well, in the Buddhist and the Hindu and the Eastern traditions, which is far older, they have what's called Lokeshwara, or Ave Lokeshwara. And Lokeshwara is the same or is the root concept, the origin of the concept of this primordial logos or being that was pure consciousness, that was the word of the original supreme being. And that Lokateshwara or Lokeshwara emanated and was incarnated through many of the Buddhas or Bodhisattvas that we learn in that tradition. And so you can see the parallel. You understand it's the same concept. So in the Christian system, later in the Greek and Latin languages, they have the logos. But in the Far East, which are called the Eastern traditions, we have the Lokateshwara or Lokeshwara. Logos and Lokeshwara are one and the same. Same concept, same implicated meanings, same motif, same processes. It's just different religious traditions and different ethnic groups or nations or societies that are separated by a few countries, like by a few countries and separations. And we deal with the origins of the biblical text, which is the Abrahamic traditions. You'll learn that Abraham came from these people. He came, that's where he originates from. So it's not too far fetched or too hard to conceive how these traditions will be similar. But right now, we're dealing with the Logos and the Lokeshwara, which represents that supreme mantra, that supreme word, or that supreme utterance, and that supreme world, that supreme being. In the Christian world, they call it the Christ, the Logos. In Buddhists, they call it the Adi Buddha. They have the Tathagata or the Lokiteshvara. And Logos and Lokiteshvara are the most advanced written names or invoking concepts in both of the traditions. So that's Logos and Lokiteshvara.